21 questions to ask prior to marriage. Part 3 of 3. Question number 16. Do you promise to take care of yourselves personally in order to maintain a healthy life and prevent illness, and to maintain your physical appearance to the best of your abilities as you age? Just because you're married doesn't give you a license to let yourself go. I married Mr. Universe only to wind up with Mr. Hippopotamus. And ladies, likewise, do your best to eat right, work out, maintain that beautiful body of yours. In fact, maybe now that you're married, maybe you can really dig into getting in shape and staying healthy and stuff because, for whatever, you were on your own. You were living life single. And this goes for guys and gals. You were living life single and you were kind of like indulging in things like, But then, of course, you started dating and you started working yourself, getting in shape and staying in shape and eating healthy. Of course, everybody's got body changes with time. And if there's one thing that we can all do about staying in shape, that's to eat nutritionally and work out regularly. In fact, you could do it together. You can make healthy meals together. You can work out together. Go for those walks. Go for those jogs. Go to the gym together. Hey, I'll see you in 20 minutes. All right, great. She goes and does her thing. You go do your thing. You meet back up. You go home. You shower together. And, well, another kind of a workout starts. All right. Question number 17. Are there little signs that you see in the other person that give you any indication that marrying this person won't be the right thing to do? Are there temperamental outbursts beyond casual alcohol or other kind of substance consumption? Are there any forms of abuse, addiction, let alone acts of violence or outbursts? Like I said, if you see any of these signs, no, the deal is off. For the most part, use your discretion. But that's what I'm saying. If you see signs now, they're going to come out later. If you guys are arguing once a week, it's going to keep happening. And then resentment, explosions, things thrown, people walking out the door, divorce, the cleanup, courts, forget it. Question number 18. Should you continue dating? Does your relationship need more time to mature? Are there any deal breakers to consider before taking the plunge into marital bliss? For some, it does. For others, it's better that they break up altogether because there would be no way they could ever be married happily. Dating is one thing, light dating, casual dating, and seeing one person, being monogamous. But to be married, that's just a whole nother level. You're sharing finances, you're sharing your space, you're sharing your time, you're sharing your refrigerator, you're sharing your meals, entertainment. Question number 19. Where do you see each other in 10 to 20 years from now? Do you see each other together? Do you see each other retired and walking on the beach somewhere? Living, where are you living? How many children do you have? Grandchildren? What's life like for the two of you later, 5, 10, 20 years later? If you had to have a child or parent move in with you, how would you respond to that? Are you seeing the big picture? Do you think that might happen? Because as you get older, sometimes your parents kind of turn into kids. They need caring for. Sometimes they don't need caring for, but they need watching over, checking in with. Kind of like children, So how are you with that? Does the other person have parents who are not healthy? What about you? How are your parents? Are your parents still alive? So many questions. How are we doing so far? How are these questions? Pretty good? We got 2 more. Question number 20. What will you gain by marrying this person? Make a list together of all the reasons to get married and add to it all your thoughts and ideas. Review this list periodically as you lead up to the day that you get married. For example, I can just picture sitting down with your future spouse. And just making this list like, oh, this is what I love about you. This is what we have in common. This is what we're going to do together. I mean, it kind of becomes like a mini personal business plan or a life business plan where you're planning out your life together. Hey, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And you wanted to do that, so I'm going to help you with that. And I wanted to do this, and you're going to help me with that. And we're going to do this together. We're going to take this class on this. Oh, we're going to be so busy. I'm going to be spending so much time with you. You know, you are my life, and I love it. I'm so glad I found you. Yes, stuff like that. And finally, question number 21. Will you make a commitment to remember and celebrate your wedding anniversary and other anniversaries? Like, hey, this is when we first met. This is where we had our first date. This is where we had our first kiss. Because you're going to want to renew your vows as well, to celebrate. Will you remind each other often how much you love each other? Does each of you feel fully committed to each other's happiness in your marriage and believe that the bond you build every day can and will survive whatever challenges that you both may face? Now, what other questions can you think of asking? How about pets? Is there a dog lover here, a cat lover? How are you going to work that out? Is it important for one of you or both to be involved in your local community? Have you ever been involved in a lawsuit? Do you have debts? We talked about that earlier. Have you ever been the victim of a crime, or have you ever committed one? What's your criminal background? Do you have one? How many speeding tickets do you have? How many unpaid parking tickets do you have? Is it important for you to attend social events, or do you prefer to stay home a lot? Do you maintain a family tradition around certain holidays? What is your level of education? What about car ownership and transportation? How will you handle registration of your vehicles? Are there some things that either of you are not prepared to give up in the marriage? Are you considering marriage for all the right reasons? Are you being honest with yourself and the other person? Those are a lot of good questions. In fact, here's a little tip when it comes to asking questions. And literally, you've got to just cross the spectrum. Here's an area that you might not think about asking. But this friend of mine that got married recently, she found out that the man she married did not participate or like to participate in holidays. In other words, no Christmas tree. She loves Christmas trees. No Valentine's Day card at all. She's a woman. She likes Valentine's. We got to at least get her a card. How about some flowers? The point is, you're going to stumble onto these things that this person does or does not do, which are going to make you feel good or bad for the rest of your relationship in the marriage. Ask these questions. Go through these cycles. Date for a year, find out, how are they around Christmas? How are they around New Year's or your birthday or Valentine's or other holidays? Find out about this person. You got to do your own due diligence. You got to ask questions. Otherwise, you have no idea what surprises are about to come. So if you ask questions and you feel complete, like, wow, man, I went through all these questions. I asked him or her, and I really liked the answers. And for some, we had to do a little research, Bart. And that was great because we got to find out, yeah, I did not know about that. So anyhow, I hope these 21 questions to ask prior to marriage help you out and help your marriage be strong and last forever.